Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to another episode of the Wisdom Save podcast. This week, which is coming after a little bit of a hiatus of sorts.
Kind of. It's been a messy schedule.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this week in particular, mostly because of my vacation.
Well, because you had your vacation. And that's the thing, too. I was explaining to a bunch of people, like, why I wasn't responding to them, or, like, why I wasn't, like, working on things I should have been working on.
Yeah.
It's because I went to Massachusetts for my niece's, like, quarantine birthday. We had your birthday. We had Brandon's birthday. We had your vacation.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. Mid-May's busy.
Yeah.
It's always busy. Also, we should probably address, too, we're recording this episode a little later in the evening. It is now getting close to around summertime. Mm-hmm. So that combination of things means that fans in the house are going to be running.
If you don't like white noise in the background... Sorry.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot we can do about it, unfortunately. We obviously turn off our fan and all of our other things that'll cause like excess and erratic noise, but it's not really fair of us to go around to everybody else in the house and be like, hey, can you turn your fan off? We're recording our podcast. Yeah. So there's not a whole lot we can do about it. And we've done a couple of microphone tests. You can definitely still hear a little bit of residual fan sound from other rooms in the house.
Out of all the microphones, this is the best microphone.
Yeah, it is. And that's the thing, is like, it's a good microphone, and because of that,
it picks up the least noise, but it also still picks up the noise.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And we don't have enough money to buy foam to pad our room, and that would also be hot.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. Especially with the summer coming up. So it is something we're just going to have to deal with for now, unfortunately. But that aside, I believe, technically, this is your topic?
This is my topic.
Yes.
We had a bit of a D&D tirade for the last few weeks.
We have. We definitely have.
That will continue, I'm sure.
Yeah, we're always going to be doing D&D content.
But I decided to take a tiny little break in between our D&D content to do a Roses and Thorns.
Yeah! Which I'm very excited about, because I love this format. I like the episodes where we just kind of get to sit down and talk about stuff.
Well, because that's kind of like, unless it's a horror story podcast, those are the only other podcasts I listen to where people just sit down and fucking talk about shit going on with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or things they did. But yeah, do you want to go first with your, because for anyone that doesn't know, if you're this deep into the podcast, you should know the format of Roses,
Roses and Thorns.
Buds. It's a good thing during your week, a bad thing during your week, and then something that you're excited to see how it goes that could be good or bad.
Yeah, and we kind of each take turns, like...
We go through both of our roses, both of our thorns, and then both of the buds.
Yeah.
But do you want to go first with your rose, or do you want me to go first?
I mean, I can go first.
Sure.
Doesn't matter to me. If this is technically your episode, so you get to choose. If you want me to go first, I'm going first. This one was, it's kind of an easy one for me.
Okay.
In terms of things that's been going on for the last, couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. The biggest, most exciting, most fun was my vacation. Mm-hmm. I was so excited for this vacation. Genuinely, all things considered, more excited for the vacation than the fact that my birthday happened inside of it. The birthday was nice, but I was more excited for the fact that I had time off.
Right.
Than for the fact that I was getting older. I feel like once you hit a certain age, your birthday is just like...
an excuse to take off work.
Yeah, it's just like, I'm just getting older. It's whatever. It's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. There's not a whole ton of fanfare. You get to see friends... Sometimes you get to do something fun on your birthday. People will do nice things for you and will spend time with you. That's lovely. But I just like that I know I'm going to get that day off of work.
Yeah.
And I can just fucking do whatever I want. And everybody's going to just, be like, oh, it's your birthday, so we're going to be extra nice to you today. And it's like, yeah.
See, that's the thing.
Just trying to relax.
That's the thing not that I never understood about birthdays. When I was younger, I was excited about getting older.
Sure.
But it feels like everybody else now that we're getting into our late 20s and stuff, and some of us, like my sisters and stuff, like their early 30s.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, ugh, like, I hate my birthday. It just means I'm getting older and yada, yada, yada.
Right.
But, like, I don't have a lot of that with my birthday. Like, I do have that, like, I'm getting older. But, like...
Right.
The reason I'm still, like, excited about mine and other people's birthdays is because it's become less like, oh, you're a year older. And it's more like, I'm like, today's the day you started existing.
Yeah. That's a nice way to look at it. I feel like I have kind of a more, like, middle ground approach. Like, I'm not looking at it like, ugh, I'm getting older. I do make a lot of jokes about that, though. Mm-hmm. I definitely,
You do often tell us we're becoming ancient.
Yeah, or I'll be like, one of the things I've been saying, I've said this like 3 times to 3 different people. I've been like, they're like, oh, like, how was your birthday? And I'm like, yeah, it's great. I can feel all 28 years in every creak of my knees. Mm-hmm. Like, I've said that exact phrase to a couple people. I do it in good fun. I'm really not that worried about getting older.
We're only 28.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like, I'm not even in my 30s yet. So there's nothing to really get existentially weird about. Mm-hmm. It's just, you know, I also I'm not like, oh damn, like I'm getting older. Like, wow, look at me. Like, it's just kind of like, it's whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I kind of feel like it stems from, grass is always greener on the other side, right? Mm-hmm. Like when you're a kid, you want to get older because being older, you're like more cool. But when you're older, it's like, I kind of wish I could just, like, not have a job like I did when I was 10. Like, when I was 10, I'd be like, damn, what am I doing today? Probably going to watch Dragon Ball Z and then go swing a stick around in the yard. Like, that was the fucking life. Like, I want that back. But when I was 10, I was just like, I wonder how cool I'm going to be when I'm 20.
Right.
Like, it's like, if I could just go back and be like, buddy, no. You're going to be driving to a job you hate every day, sweating in your hot car. Like, go swing the stick.
Yeah,
go swing the stick. Just live it up. Now's your time. This is when you thrive.
Yeah, youth is wasted on the young.
In a lot of ways, yeah, and you don't know it until it's too late. Oh man,
this is supposed to be a rose.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't.
No, I went on the tangent of birthdays, and we started talking about mortality. Yeah. You were talking about your vacation. Shit. That is my point.
Shit, you're right. We were talking about the vacation. We get sidetracked easily. It's the ADHD. Yeah. So, but basically, I mean, I don't know. My birthday was fine. Like, I enjoyed it.
How's your vacation?
My vacation as a whole. Well, there were, and we'll get into when we go into the other categories, there were ups. There were a lot of ups. There were some meh, not really any downs per se, but like some like, so, and those will come in later. But for the most part, my vacation was pretty well deserved, pretty well needed, pretty nice. I mostly just wanted to focus on a couple of the fun things that I did during vacation. Watched and finished a couple of shows that I really have been wanting to finish. I'll talk about one that I'm pretty sure you didn't pick, but there's one I'm not sure.
I had a whole list of, like, good things that happened in the last week, but I went with one in particular for my main rose.
So can I talk about shows then?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good. So we finished, we kind of have like a list thing. Me and Hannah, I have a very long list of like, it's everything. It's kind of, I call it like my media list or my content list. It's just like things that I've seen that I like, that I want to at some point take part in, engage in, watch, play, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's got movies, it's got TV shows, it's got video games, it's got albums and artists for music. It's got like all sorts of shit. And on my list of shows, which I think is like well over 150 shows long at this point, I had Big Mouth,
Which we were watching.
Which we were in the middle of watching, and I think we've talked about it on the podcast before. But we finally caught up. Like, I watched all 40 whatever episodes. Finally, very excited to finally have that series be finished. And now, whenever the new one comes out, I can just watch it. It's very funny. There are a number of characters on that I now quote in my everyday life all the fucking time.
Yep.
Because that show's just absolutely hilarious. In a kind of grody way.
Yeah, it's really grungy, gross. But if you're into toilet humor, it's perfect.
Yeah, if you're into toilet humor, it's great. If you're
squeamish about puberty,
yeah, then maybe it's not for you. If you like kind of it's not edgy or dark or anything. It's kind of wholesome and fun at times. It deals with some pretty deep shit, deep emotional shit at times. It's a really educational show and a very informative show, while also dealing with what would normally be considered kind of taboo subjects, but doing so in a respectful and tasteful way, while also poking fun at it.
Right.
Well, okay, tasteful's maybe not the right word, but
respectful. I was going with respectful.
Yeah, they are respectful about the way they approach those topics. Not necessarily tasteful, but sometimes there are some elements of it that just they can't be tasteful.
Well, also there are some times where they there was on that show they talked about pansexuality.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's actually that's a really good point.
Which is something that's really fun. I don't know if anyone pointed this out to you, or if I talked to you about this.
Yeah.
You watched all of Big Mouth in one go.
Right.
I watched it as it came out.
Sure. And that was season 3, right? When they got introduced. Yeah.
They had 2 seasons out when I was in Japan in 2018 or something.
Yeah.
Well, I was in. Yeah. I don't remember. It was years ago.
Right.
And that was the season they did the thing about pansexuality, and it was funny. They did a stupid little joke where the new girl in school that came over, she was pansexual, and no one knew what that meant because they're all teenagers.
Yeah.
And she's like, what did she say? She was like, bisexuality is when you're interested in tacos and burritos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she was using that metaphor, basically.
Yeah. And then she's like, and pansexuality is when I like tacos, I like burritos that are trying to, that are transitioning into tacos, and I like tacos that are thinking about potentially, being a burrito and anything in between.
Right.
And lots of people came after them for saying that was a very tactless way to
I actually had a problem with that.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
But the thing was they were trying to it's a very complex topic that they're trying to tackle.
Right.
And they go into it more about why bisexuality and pansexuality is more elaborate than that, and they actually made fun of themselves in a different season of it, the most recent season.
Right.
When they tackled the trans girl.
Yeah, Natalie. Yeah.
They went to camp and they had their friend that is Natalie.
Yeah, she was the other people knew her back before she transitioned. Yeah. And then they were like, "Oh, what's?" And of course, they're all teenagers. They're all confused and have no fucking idea what's going on.
And have no tact.
Who's this? Why is there a girl? Where's the person who used to know?
Is this your long con to get into the girl's bunk and blah blah blah?
Yeah.
But they made fun of the way that they tackled the pansexuality thing by basically having the camp counselor introduce the idea of being trans the same way.
Right.
But then Natalie the entire time was like, no, that's not how that is.
Right, yeah. And she was...
You're making this worse.
Yeah, she was just like, you are way off base. And it was kind of a tongue-in-cheek push on themselves of being like, yeah, we didn't handle that right.
Yeah. And they do that a lot where they're trying to tackle things correctly and then sometimes they don't. And then they'll make fun of themselves and they're like, we're trying.
Yeah.
We have a 30-minute show.
What's the thing? And it's like, and I'm pretty sure, like, I mean, and that's the thing too. Is like the show. They are a number of show runners on it, but like the two main characters and two of the main scriptwriters for it are the like comedic duo of John Mulaney and Nick Kroll. They do a lot of shit together. Chances are you've seen one or both of their like different comedy specials and comedy series and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the two of them like they try, but they're straight dudes.
Yes.
So they like every once in a while they're gonna be like, yeah, we didn't really fucking hit that one on the head, and we gotta go back and make sure we do it right next time.
Yeah.
And they're good about that. Like, and that was the thing is like I had my problems with that episodes, but like in future seasons and in future like instances of that character being introduced, like they addressed like, hey, this is just like this is how one person interpreted this situation. Like this is not.
Well, not to mention, it's like as years go on, they're learning how to be more tactful about it,
right?
And like they're like that's all you can really ask for is that they're trying to keep people like updated on what's happening and like continue adding information onto it, and like
and that plays into the like the kind of more like informative qualities of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. In general, I feel like I like that the show exists, mainly because, like, it's a funny show that, like, young adults and teenagers can watch and find humor in, while also handling these things in, like, you know, they make mistakes, but they address their mistakes. Yeah. And, like, they try to be informative and educational about those things. Which
also talking to, like, potentially, like, upper-aged... or like audiences about like Planned Parenthood and body positivity and like all sorts of different stuff.
Yeah, and they do it in, you know, in I think overall like an informative way and a helpful way, especially in the United States, where our sex education, especially depending on where you live in the United States, is fucking abysmal.
Yeah, very.
We have a horrible track record for sex education.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible.
I'll take anything at this point.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it addresses a lot of what goes on in the teenage mind. It doesn't pull any punches, and it doesn't lie to you about, like, how weird and gross teenagers can be sometimes. Yep. But it's like, that's part of the game. Yeah. You know? That's how it is.
But we did finish the show.
We finished the whole show, which that was just kind of my, like... my spiel, my retrospective on it. And then we decided to go wildly different and jump to anime.
We had to go back into anime.
We had to go back. Yeah, because that's the thing is we kind of like, we went to like a non-anime show. Me and Hannah try to watch a lot of anime. And
we don't even have to try, we just do.
Yeah, like I would say like 80% of my list of over 150 shows is also anime. We watch a lot of fucking anime. And believe it or not, despite how much anime we watch... we hadn't seen Demon Slayer.
Because we'd been spending so much time on trying to finish Seven Deadly Sins and watching Dorohedoro and like...
Dorohedoro was fucking great.
I love Dorohedoro.
Very good.
And like, eventually we got to Big Mouth and we like watched 2 seasons and all of stopped.
Yeah, and like all of that on top of like keeping up with My Hero Academia and like just keeping up with just like general shows that come out.
Well, that and, like, taking breaks from shows to, like, obsess over, like, Monster Hunter.
Yeah,
like,
yep.
So
we hadn't quite gotten to that one, but...
But we finished Demon Slayer in 2 days.
During my vacation. Yeah, it was like 2.5 days. Man.
I love Demon Slayer.
What a good fucking show. And that, like, my Rose in general... was my vacation, but it was kind of also... I have it as a note right here. My vacation, also Demon Slayer, though.
Yeah.
Like, that show is something I have been, like, healthily obsessing over. My only regret about it is that there is not more content currently animated.
Yeah.
Because I am not the kind of person who has the budget to buy manga. And... that's the only thing stopping me from blasting ahead in this series. Like, I can't just go buy 20 volumes of Demon Slayer.
Right.
So I'm not gonna. But I really need more Demon Slayer content. The show's incredible. For anyone who's an anime fan, I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Chances are you already have, because it's gaining a lot of notoriety.
Yeah.
Your brother has had conversations with us about because he's the one who was like, oh yeah, you should watch it, because he watched it before we did.
Yeah, he's always on about the next thing we should be watching.
Yeah. He has more of an ability to like sit down and just watch through an anime.
Well, because we try to watch things together.
Right, and which is harder to do, for sure.
You have to sync up the schedules.
I would much rather watch a show with you than not watch it with you, but it is harder to watch.
Well, that's why we do it that way.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, it's. I don't want to spoil any elements of the story. It stands on its own. It's a pretty typical shonen, but I find that it doesn't really follow a lot of what a lot of modern shonen do. A lot of modern shonen, and I guess I'm mainly using like My Hero as an example, is like it gives you a backdrop, and then there's a very clear like, here is like the arc. Like you get a backdrop of like, here's what's going on in the world right now, and then the characters go deal with that, and you know you're going to be buckled into that for like half a season, and then it's like, okay, next. Like it's a lot of shonen is very formulaic.
I love that it doesn't dawdle on shit.
Yeah, that's the thing. I feel like it doesn't waste your time. It's not formulaic in the sense that it's like the story goes in a direction and then it follows that. It spends pretty much exactly as much time as it needs to on it, and then it moves on to a new thing.
Yeah.
It's not an anime that wastes your time.
Like, we're going to go for the training arc, air quotes, but it's going to be an episode, and it's going to cover the span of 2 years in one episode, and you're going to get the good parts and be done.
Yep.
And I'm like, thank you so much.
Yeah. And especially because, like, you have expressed a lot of personal complaints about, like, the current arc of My Hero Academia right now.
Yeah.
Because it's going by so slowly and it's so predictable. I love it, but that's because I'm a sucker for tournament arcs, and this is a mini tournament arc.
The thing is if you want me to be interested in a tournament arc, you need to make it good.
Yeah.
And this is fine.
This is more of like a character introduction arc wrapped up as a tournament arc, and I think that's why it's not as interesting.
Well, also, like, they have, like, literally 25 kids or something that they want you to get to know.
Yeah.
And the only ones...
40, really.
Yeah. But the only
20
ones...
that we already know.
Yeah. But the only ones that I care about out of that class are ones that I met while they were doing something important.
Sure.
It's literally like walking into a school of children, and they're like, here's Tommy. He likes to blow spit bubbles. And I'm like, okay. Oh, but there's a kid I know that I met like at the grocery store, and they threw spaghetti at me. That one made an impact. Yeah. I know that one.
Yeah, I remember having to clean
I don't even remember the first one's name anymore.
Yeah.
Like, why do I care about Tommy who likes to blow spit bubbles?
See, but you did remember his name, though.
Well, yeah, but I made up the stupid scenario.
I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, I love Demon Slayer. It's 26 episodes for the first season. The movie's out, and the movie's weird. It's not like a lot of anime movies where it's like, here's a spin-off, and you can watch the movie, and the characters are in it, or you can not watch the movie, and it's fine. It's literally like, it's canon. Like, the next arc of the manga to get animated is supposedly, it's called the Mugen Train Arc.
Okay.
And the movie is called Mugen Train. And it's literally like, hey, this next series of things that happen, that is the movie. Yeah. And then you have to watch the movie before you watch season 2, which supposedly is coming out in October of this year. So that's fucking dope. Tanjiro is the main character. Tanjiro is a main character that I genuinely enjoy. He's a main character that, like, has flaws and suffers consequences and has to work hard for the things that he is trying to accomplish, which is a quality of a good shonen in general, but it's something that you don't see a lot of in a lot of popular modern anime.
Where the main character isn't already, like, just the best, and he just needs to try a little harder to be perfect.
It's basically the reason why I don't like pretty much all isekai anime. Mm-hmm. It's just, like, the main character is, like, he basically has no social skills and spends his entire life playing this one computer game.
But girls love him anyway.
Then he gets sucked into the computer game and all girls love him and he's really powerful and he's also a super genius and he's charming even though he's a piece of shit. And it's like, no, he's not. I'm
tired of your weird self-insert.
Yeah. I don't like a lot of isekai anime for that reason, and this feels like the opposite of that. It feels like there is a build-up, and the characters have to deal with their flaws in order to survive dangerous situations.
Mm-hmm. And people in the show die.
That's true, yeah.
Or, like, get badly hurt.
Yeah, at the very least.
For the main characters.
Hasn't really been any... Well, I mean, I don't want to say anything in particular because I want people to watch it and see for themselves, but they've been in some pretty sticky fucking situations. The support... that's the other thing, too. The supporting cast is great. Mm-hmm. Like, Zenitsu annoys me, but he annoys me in the way that it's like... I laugh when he goes into one of his fucking tirades.
Yeah.
Like, he's obnoxious, but in a fun way.
He's one of the only characters of his type
that
I don't, like, viscerally hate.
Yeah, the kind of, like the girl-obsessed crybaby character. Yeah.
Well, because they, like, went into his whole backstory, and he, like... The thing is he's girl-crazy without being an actual, like assaulter.
Yeah, what's that guy from Inuyasha? Is it Miroku?
Miroku.
Yeah, he basically is like... He's like if Miroku and Krillin were the same person.
Yeah. He'd be like if Miroku and Krillin were the same person and he touched a few less butts and cried a little more.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
Because I've never actually seen Zenitsu, like, touch anyone other than, like, clinging to a girl's sleeve because he wanted her to marry him.
Yeah.
Which is, like, whatever, but it's annoying, it's not, like, offensive.
He's obnoxious, but it's not... he's not offensive or crass or cruel, and he's...
like, actually kind of sweet.
Yeah, he's done in a tasteful and interesting way, and I like him a lot. Inosuke's the shit.
Amazing.
Yeah. Did not expect him to be as absolutely fucking gorgeous as he is.
So pretty.
He is a beautiful man. That's primo A-cut, top-tier, high-grade anime boy right there. That's woof. The fucking mask came off and I was like, excuse me?
That's the boar boy?
I'm like, I thought he was gonna look like he was like sneezing all the time, but he's like, whoa.
Yeah. I love that.
Damn.
He has like a very like... They said it in the show. They were like, they're like fighting him because he's like a wild child.
Yeah. And
his hat falls off at one point. He wears a boar head.
Yeah.
And he's got a very pretty face, and he's got like shoulder length hair.
Yeah.
And like
this
very
electric blue color
on the bottom of his black hair.
Cool X-shaped scar.
And he what is it? They saw his face and. He was like, well, they were like, well, that's your face? And he's like, what's wrong with my face?
Yeah.
And they were like, Tanjiro was like, nothing. It's actually very nice. I like it. Yeah. And he's like, well, then fucking fight me. And he's like, I will not do that anymore. Yeah. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I don't wanna. The whole supporting cast of that show is super good. Mm-hmm. And they're very compelling. I haven't seen a good like buddy cop kind of cast like them in a really long time, and I'm really looking forward to see this merry band of assholes get into more trouble.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Yeah. So it's a good show. Like I honestly can't recommend it enough.
Okay. Well, I should probably do my Rose. Because
that was mine. I was just talking about my favorite
shows
things
that we watched during your vacation.
My favorite things that happened during vacation, which was pretty much just watching shows.
Okay.
And sleeping, but I don't want to talk about that because it's boring.
Because nothing really happened.
It's great for me, but it's boring for you.
So my rose, oddly enough, was a Metopia.
Oh, hell yeah! That's right.
Because it came out on the 23rd?
21st, I think. You might have gotten it on the 23rd, though.
I played it while it was on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And I bought it. I bought it thinking that it would be like one of those games where you just like make a few Miis and like you play a few stupid little games and then like that's it. But it was actually like kind of like a fantasy Mii RPG.
Yeah.
And it was kind of good.
You've got classes, you've got fucking like, hub worlds and stuff. There's
Each of
a whole
the
equipment system.
All the Miis you can like make them and into anybody you want to, and you get to pick like members of like the different like towns and like people that like run around and stuff, and
right.
They have like you get to assign the characters you control like personalities and stuff.
Yeah.
And classes, and there's like stuff that you fight monsters. And it was funny because when I started playing it, Brendan like and me played it for a while, and we like got really engrossed in the game.
Yeah, way back on the 3DS.
Yeah,
right?
back on the 3DS.
Yeah.
And then randomly, they were like, "It's coming out for the Switch," and they like amped it up. Like they redid all of the graphics looked like sharper and shinier, and like the little like all the art looks more pristine.
Yeah.
They spiced up the classes, and they like tuned all the like mechanics, and they added a horse.
Yeah, like a mount that you could use to like add to your team and shit.
They also added a bunch of like makeup and like different hairstyles in the game you can put on people, and they made it so that you're not forced through the different costumes, so you have to like wear costumes that look stupid.
Yeah, like you can copy the stats of an item to a different piece of equipment so that you can just keep the equipment that you like. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They like added like eye shines and like more feathered hair and like all sorts of cool stuff.
The Mii customization options are through the roof. You can make some crazy shit in this
And game. My very favorite, Brandon bought it for me for my birthday early because my birthday's in June, but I said that I wanted to buy Metopia when it came out, which was a whole month before.
Sure.
And but that's what he was planning on buying me, and so he bought it for me early because that's what he did for me last year too.
Right.
Because for some reason, a game that I really, really, really want always comes out a month before my birthday. And I won't wait to get it.
Yeah.
So he got it for me, and I immediately made the Ravnica party.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been taking so many pictures. I might
have you?
I might have to send you pictures to like put on the screen if I can or something. Because we just did our Ravnica group anyways. Like our Ravnica podcast.
Yeah, right.
So like, and I think they kind of look pretty good for what our characters look
I mean, like so far they've been pretty decent.
The
weapons, like because the weapons are set to what class you are.
Yeah,
like some of them I would change.
Yeah, obviously.
Like Kaz has a sword. He wields a mace.
Yeah.
Angelo usually doesn't wield very much at all, but he's got like a fucking microphone or something
instead of a guitar,
which he should have a guitar.
But
like
Alistair isn't a wizard, but he was the only class that did magic.
Yeah.
Alistair's a druid,
so his like ice magic and his lightning magic and stuff all have to be based on mage.
Yeah, so there are like slight differences, but it's so funny to see. I love it. It's so funny. They can all bond and stuff, and you can like send them out to go.
Yeah, you can you can make friends with them, and they like they can become friends with each other, and they have these like group conversations and stuff.
And the more that they like each other, the more they like get features they can unlock with each other, like doing pincer attacks or like comforting each other when they get hurt or like healing each other. It's fun. So I've been completely enjoying that so much.
Absolutely. As evidenced by the fact you spent the last couple of days exclusively doing that.
Yeah.
Except for when you have like obligations.
Yeah, and even then sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes you're like, I really should be doing this, but it's like Metopia, it calls.
Yeah. Well, because I made Alistair.
Yeah.
And then I made Angelo, and then I made Kaz, and then I made Hex. And they've just been wandering off, attacking things, and, like, having, like, these... Like, I love seeing, especially when little things like little nuances about the characters actually accidentally line up with the characters that I make.
Right.
So I've just been completely engrossed in that. And then today, I guess spoilers for the game. I don't think anyone else is going to go play this. This is like a me thing in particular.
No, honestly, like, I didn't know it existed for the 3DS. And when they were like, oh yeah, Miitopia's coming out, I'm like, oh, neat. They're doing stuff with Miis. That feels weird for the Switch. Mm-hmm. That was like a Wii era thing. Mm-hmm. And you were like, oh, fuck, Miitopia? And I'm like, what is it? I had no idea it was a 3DS game.
Kicked up Miitopia again.
Yeah. I had no idea what it was, and it's so cool. I watched her play through some of it on the 3DS before we got the other one. It's neat as fuck. Like, it's a genuine RPG.
Yeah. It's an RPG where you can just self-insert.
Yeah, it's an RPG, but you get to play with your friends or your character or like
your NPCs, your PCs, your whatever you want to do. Your friends.
You make them and then you do it. You can pick your all of your Smash mains. That can be like my team is like you got I got Mario and you can do all of that. It's crazy.
There's like a big bad evil guy that you're supposed to be fighting, and you can make them whoever you want.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Like Hank Hill.
No, the first one that I did on the 3DS, and I almost wish I did it this way again, was you're trying to save this one kingdom, and you're the evil guy that I was fighting off when I showed it to you that little bit of time.
Yeah.
Was the Dark Lord Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was funny though.
And then you go to the kingdom eventually, and you meet the king. But I made the princess of the kingdom, Princess Hank Hill.
Yeah,
that was hilarious.
Whoa.
But
you do all sorts of fun stuff with it.
It just kills me. But yeah, so spoilers, I suppose. At one point, midway through the story, your party gets kidnapped.
Yeah.
So you have to make a second party to go save them. And I made... So originally I had Alistair, Angelo, Kaz, and Hex.
Yeah, like the Ravnica party.
Our party. And so then I was gonna make the Dawn Valkyries.
Oh, yeah.
But I couldn't make all of them because there are some limitations to what you can do with skin tones and I'd want to put horns on two of them.
Yeah, you can't do horns or the dark, deep black or kind of crimson red skin tones that Noir and Kylia have.
So I was
that just doesn't work.
I made Arya and then realized I couldn't make Noir or Kylia. And so then I made Vladimira, Alistair's sister.
Right.
And Katya, their friend from Ravnica.
Yeah, the cleric that was in the campaign for a little while.
Yeah. So I made them, and they turned out awesome.
Hell yeah.
I love all three of them. And I was playing it before we started podcasting, and I'm gonna be playing it after we're done podcasting. It's just, I love that game. Also, I had as a note that the other thing that I did that I was happy about this week, except for just playing Miitopia, was that I finally finished my my OC shipping chart.
Oh yeah, that's right. You've been customizing one of those.
I took 2 or 3 other charts because they had a bunch of my ship in 5 minutes things.
Yeah.
But I had bits and pieces from all of them that I wanted on the same sheet.
Mm.
So I just put them all together because I could. I made a PNG so you can just take any pictures you have of the characters that you already have.
Right.
And just slide them underneath. And then you can go through and fill it out for your characters.
Hell yeah.
So if anyone's interested in an OC shipping sheet, I have one.
Hell yeah, and let us know because we'd be happy to share it with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fun. We had a good week. We had a fun week.
Yeah.
I think so. So speaking of our fun week, let's talk about the things that sucked.
The things that sucked about our fun week.
Yay! My thorn is kind of, it's more of a general gripe. It has nothing to do with the week in particular. But it just happened to be that, like, this was the week that it all kind of came down. Mm-hmm. And I'm kind of glad that, like, I got certain things, like getting my second vaccination done during this week, because basically, as I'm sure a lot of the people who are listening to this can attest to. Actually, you know what? I'm not sure, because I don't know what it's like in other states.
Okay.
But my thorn was basically how, like, Connecticut state mask policies have changed rather abruptly.
Yep.
Much to my annoyance and aggravation.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like, and it pretty much started, like, the day before I went on vacation.
Yep.
But, like, the CDC put down this thing where it's like, yeah, if you're vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask anymore. Mm-hmm. Technically, but also, like, here are some conditions that we'll put in the fine print, but also we're not going to really call you on it.
Yeah, and you also can't ask people for their identification of whether they're actually vaccinated or not.
Well, see, but that's not, I don't know if that was a CDC recommendation, but that ties into this. Because basically, after that, we had customers who spent, like, for the next day, we had customers who would come in and they wouldn't have their masks on.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, yeah, you have to put that on while you're in the store. And they're like, no, I don't, because the CDC said. And it's like, it doesn't matter, because
you still get to choose store to store.
Yeah, like, we have rules in our store, and we have not updated any rules about this. Mm-hmm. So while you're in the store, and they were like, well, because I have my vaccine, so, like, I don't have to. And it's like, you can go somewhere else. Like, we don't, like, it was just tedious.
Yeah.
Because we had to deal with people all day who were just, like, thought they knew everything. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we can do this now. Like, a tweet said I could do this from a blue checkmark account, so that means I can do it. It's like, fuck off.
Yep.
But then, rather abruptly, work was like, okay, we need to come up with a policy. So they put down their policy the day before I went on vacation, and it was basically just, yeah, it's cool if people who are fully vaccinated don't wear masks in the store. That's fine, because they're fully vaccinated, so it shouldn't be a problem. Which we're not even sure that's true necessarily. But okay, let's go with that. However, it's also against the rules for any of us to ask people to show proof of their vaccination status. Mm-hmm. So if people walk in who aren't vaccinated without a mask and say, hey, I'm vaccinated, we just have to accept that. Mm-hmm. Which means, knowing my clientele at my place of employment, many people are going to abuse that.
Yeah.
And I'm very worried that it's going to ramp up into a new, like, late stage outbreak.
Yeah.
Which is doubly annoying, because it hasn't been 2 weeks since my second COVID shot yet. So I'm not fully vaccinated yet. If I fucking get COVID a week before I'm fully vaccinated, I will burn that store to the ground. I will burn everything to the ground. I'll be fucking livid. I went so long without any COVID symptoms. I did everything I was supposed to do for so long. If some asshole who thinks the government is going to microchip them, but also doesn't want to wear a mask anymore, gives me COVID, I'm going on a murder spree. It's so frustrating.
I've literally already walked into a gas station and shared with an employee that I just got my second shot.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, well, you don't have to wear the mask in the store then. And I was like, I got it yesterday.
Yeah, like, that's, first of all, it's not how fully vaccinated work. And that's the other thing, too, is you have a lot of people who, like, think, oh, someone poked me in the arm for the second time 5 minutes ago. Now I'm fully vaccinated. No, you are not. You have to wait 2 weeks. You can still get and contract and spread COVID. Stop.
Well, they're like, oh, well, I mean, that's fine. I mean, you can still wear it, but you don't have to. And I was like, I'm going to.
Yeah.
But also because if I fucking get COVID after I went through feeling like shit getting my second shot,
Ooh.
I'm gonna be pissed.
And that's the other thing, too. I didn't want to put it as my thorn because I am a strong advocate for going to get your vaccines, and I think that vaccination is important. But all of that being said, and me still insisting, go get vaccinated, it is a good idea. It is the right thing to do to ensure that you and your family and the people you love and care about will be safe from COVID-19. That on the table and understood. That second shot destroyed me. I felt like dog shit for like maybe 36 straight hours.
Yeah.
And there was a period during the day where I didn't think I could move, like, at all. Like, I started to move, and it felt like my body weighed like 80 pounds more. It was horrible. I had a blistering headache for like an entire day. I slept like 2 hours. Yeah, it sucked. But you were like, it sucked, but it wasn't like,
I was kind of fine.
yeah, it wasn't like, and that's the thing is, like, you were up and moving around like a decent bit faster than I was. I was complaining all day.
Like, the thing was,
I was miserable.
my body was heavy.
Yeah.
And my joints were sore.
Right.
And, like, I kind of had a headache.
Sure.
But other than that, like, I also did the thing where I, like, was getting cold and then hot and then cold and then hot.
Yeah, yeah.
But also I was like, dude, I've done worse.
Yeah, it's fair.
But, but I was the one that went and got us food at the point where we decided we wanted to eat food.
Yeah, and then
because I could get up.
Yeah, I went and I was like, I think I can. Like, I was so nauseous. I was like, I think I can only stomach bread. So you came down with 2 lightly buttered waffles and a piece of buttered toast.
Because we only had 1 piece of bread.
Yeah. Which, no, that was like, you did great. That's not a criticism. But then I ate like 1 buttered waffle. And my stomach and head hurt so bad I had to lay down for 15 minutes. And then I finally felt okay enough to eat the piece of toast. And then my stomach hurt so bad after that. Even though I was hungry and needed to eat, that I just had you finish the last waffle. I just couldn't do it. And thankfully, like, later on that night, like, we had Brandon's birthday and stuff that night. So, like, I went and
we ate some real food.
Actual food. And I, like, started to feel a little better. But wow, did that kick the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like,
my favorite part about all of that was that we were finishing an RP during that too.
Yeah, we were like having 2 characters like have a conversation back and forth.
And we had been we did that throughout your entire vacation also.
We did, yeah.
Which I actually had on my like long list of good things that happened.
Yeah.
But I was like very worried that we weren't gonna finish it before the campaign that it was
right,
tied
which was
to.
that Friday. Yeah.
And then we didn't pick it up until like 4:00 in the afternoon because Ken was dead.
Yeah, I like couldn't look at a screen, so how was I gonna type?
Well, I honestly like wasn't really worrying about it. I'm like, it's fine.
Yeah, we were gonna figure it out.
We'll get to. I was like, if we don't get it today, I will force you to finish it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Before we have to go because it's getting finished.
Right.
But like eventually, like after you got some food and stuff, and we like chilled for a while, you felt fine enough, and we finished it.
Yeah.
But that was also one of my roses.
Was it?
Was the RP? It was so fun.
Yeah.
I want to do more of that.
Yeah.
Like, not that one in particular.
And that's the thing, is that, like, I like those little vignette RPs. They don't happen as often as I would like to, just because, like, my schedule tends to get very busy. And so it's hard for me to be able to justify, like, slicing out chunks of time to respond.
Well, also because there's not a bunch of reason, like, why it needs to happen. A lot of the time...
Yeah, a lot of it happens at the table.
Yeah, a lot of it happens where it needs to happen, and that's perfect.
Right.
But I think it's less about RPing one-on-one or over the internet, and more about I get to sprinkle a little bit of D&D through my week.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great way to look at that too.
Because it would have happened at the table the exact same way it would have happened. I mean, it's canon. It would have happened.
Yeah, it happened.
It happened how it would have happened.
And it made sense for us to do it separately because, like,
no one was present.
Yeah, it was just our two characters having a private conversation, so it made sense.
But I just really like being able to like carry D&D with me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And it made feeling like shit better.
Definitely, it was one of the. It was. I would consider that the highlight of that day.
Yeah.
Which was
a bad day.
Yeah, it was a bad day. Like that was the pocket of sunshine in that otherwise absolutely shitty day.
Should I do my thorn now?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I don't have much more to say except for I think the CDC is stupid.
Thorn for me is work, as always, because I always pick work.
Yeah, work sucks. Fuck it. Burn it down.
But I wrote a few different little bullet points down.
Oh boy, here we go.
It's been really annoying with masks.
For the same reason. Whoa! Oh boy, I hope you heard that.
Yeah.
That was our microphone. Sorry about that.
We got a new bed, so it
it wobbles.
It wobbles and shifts.
Just like Weebles.
Weebles wobbles.
Except they do fall down.
Except this one falls down.
Yeah.
So anyways, like I was saying, masks.
Yes.
Well, especially because literally, I don't know, like, I knew today was going to be a bad day.
Right.
And the very...
Oh, this is today.
Oh, yeah, this is today.
Oh, boy.
The very first customer I had today...
Uh-huh.
Walked in with their mask around their chin.
Right.
For one, fucking wear it or don't.
Yeah, like, why do you have it on your face but not on your face?
Like, I get it. You're a piece of shit. Don't wear it.
Yeah, if you're not going to wear it, don't have it on.
Like don't even bring it if you're not going to fucking wear it. Like... But then the guy... it's so stupid. He turned around...
Yeah.
To look at the seating arrangements in my subway.
Okay, yeah.
And open mouth coughed.
See, this is...
And then the kicker pulled his mask up.
Oh, after the cough.
After the cough.
Oh, yeah, you're really doing me a big fucking favor, buddy.
And regardless, there's been a bunch of people not wearing masks.
Yeah. It's not just the one guy, obviously, but that's just an example.
At least the rest of them aren't open mouth coughing.
Sure.
For the most part. There is the one guy that it might have been the same guy. I have no idea.
Oh no.
But there was one guy that came in for like a week straight, and every day he would come in and have a really bad cough. And then he would like cough in his hands and like touch stuff, and I was like, dude, no. Like, I actually, like, talked to him about that. I was like, don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Like, don't come in here and cough. Like, if you're gonna cough, get him out outside. Yeah. And then mask on. Don't fucking come in here without your mask on.
Right. And it's like, what, like... But that's the thing. But it all ties into it. Is, like, you're gonna have people that just have absolutely no regard for anybody else and, like, their well-being and their safety, who just are just like, hey, now I don't have to do the thing that the mean old government was telling me I had to do. So now I'm just going to go be a belligerent asshole like I was before this. Like, my government-mandated reason to not be a piece of shit is now gone, which means I'm free to continue being a piece of shit.
Right. Well, then my other favorite is the people that come in with the mask in their hand and then go, do I have to wear this?
Yeah.
Just put it on.
Yeah. Like,
or
you
don't.
already have it out. Like, what are you doing?
Like, why would you come in and not wear the mask and ask if you don't have to wear it? The thing to do is wear it and ask if you have to wear it. And then if you don't, you can take it off. I don't walk into a store without a shirt on, but have the shirt in my hand and go, do I have to wear this?
Yeah.
Because that's fucking stupid.
That's a good metaphor too, but I don't know. It's like this. If there's one thing that this pandemic has shown me, It's that people are even more disappointing as a general rule than I already knew that they were. Mm-hmm. And now it's just disheartening that we are at the point where now we're just going to have to deal with that again. Like, it was just starting to get to a point where it was okay. We before all this, we haven't had to say anything about masks to customers in weeks. Mm-hmm. Like, weeks. People have just been putting on their mask and walking around and doing what they're supposed to be doing. Shopping in the store. It's great. We don't have to deal with it. We don't have to deal with any weirdos making a big fucking scene. It was just everyone just did what they were supposed to do and just fucking went in and did their business and left. And it was peaceful. And now it's right back to just people being fucking weird again. Mm-hmm.
Well, also, what is it? But also, like, it makes me feel incredibly guilty. Like, if I'm in the back of my store,
yeah,
I'll sometimes pull the mask under my nose so I can breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm fully vaccinated now.
Well, not technically, but yes.
I'm fully vaccinated now.
Yeah, quote unquote.
But I'm still far enough away from customers where it's like, it's feet and feet and feet and feet and feet.
Right.
And also no one else comes back there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that's the thing. Is it like the intent at that point is like no one else goes back there, and you're like the only things, if you had it, the only things you could be potentially infecting are things that you are only dealing with.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Well, yeah, because I was going to say all my other coworkers are actually fully vaccinated.
Oh, sure.
They were very quick to get their shots.
Yeah.
And Quadro hasn't been there. I just name dropped her.
Well.
She hasn't been there in a few weeks, so I don't have to worry about her yet.
Yeah.
So I'll do the little stupid Republican nose thing. And,
yeah.
Like, while I'm pulling bread so I can get a breath of, like, cold air.
Yeah.
Out of the fridge.
Right.
But then if anyone sees me do that, I feel intensely guilty.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
And I'm like, oh, they think I'm, like, not wearing my mask. And I'm like, at this point, what the fuck does it matter? No one's actually wearing them.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough point.
I mean, I'm still going to wear it as properly as possible.
Yeah.
But, like...
I'm the same way. I mean, like, one of the benefits that I've noticed is, like, my allergies have been great this year. Mm-hmm. Like, I haven't...
flu?
Yeah, I haven't had to... Yeah, well, that especially. But I haven't had to deal with my allergies anywhere near as bad. Usually in spring, and especially as spring transitions into summer, my allergies fucking suck. But they've been pretty good this year.
But besides all the mask things annoying me, they got a new guy at work. He's fully vaccinated, but he also annoys the crap out of me.
Yeah.
And it's like... It's because he really doesn't do much.
Sure.
My bosses brought him in, and mind you, he's not like a new guy. He's like just a new guy to me who happens to also be 90.
He's like 1,000 years old.
Yeah, he's like my boss's age. Like, he's already been retired for years, but he's one of their friends who used to also own a Subway.
Gotcha.
So they brought him in basically so he could watch us.
Right. Ugh.
And make sure that we, like, weren't eating food for free and that we were doing our work. But that means that he's a coworker we have who basically doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah. He doesn't think he should have to.
Yeah. So I've already done it, like, luckily enough for him, I already have it in a way where if I'm not closing, I leave the majority of the work for me. Because then it makes closing really easy for the person doing the shittier part of that job.
Right.
So I'll give him 3 tasks out of the 20 tasks.
Right.
And I'll do the rest. And I'm not even joking, it's so many things.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing was Sundays are built different.
Sure.
Where they have him basically supervising the store all day long.
Oh,
because to make it worth his time, because he's a fully grown adult, apparently, as opposed to me, who is apparently not.
Okay.
They need to give him above 25 hours, so they have him take an entire day.
Like you're not a fully grown adult who needs to pay rent?
I guess not. They have him take an entire day and just have me come help him for 3 hours during the day.
Okay.
From 11:30 to 2:30.
Sure.
Or 4 hours, whatever, I don't fucking care. So this past Sunday, I went in, and the thing is I can't do all the closing jobs for him.
Yeah.
On a Sunday because I'm only there till 2:30.
Yeah.
The store doesn't close till 9.
Right.
So I'm not gonna sweep and mop the lobby for the end of the day because it doesn't make any sense. It's just gonna get all walked like we mop more than once a day.
Yeah.
But it's in the morning and at night.
Yeah.
Because there's no fucking reason to do it more than that.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna do that for him because that's the end of the day.
Right.
I'm not gonna pull the bread for the day because I don't know what the fuck it's gonna look like later.
Right.
But I did everything else. I did chips, I did drinks, I did the cardboard, I took out the trash, I did the dishes, I made sure that we had all the prep, I did meats, cheese, I changed all the tubs and re-upped all the stuff in the front and everything. Made backups, did pickles, peppers, onions, cut cucumbers, onions.
All the shit.
Everything.
Yeah.
And then today I came in. Spoiler alert, it's Monday.
Woo.
And my boss was like, hey, when you work on Sundays with him, your coworker, you need to help him.
What?
And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, there are just so many things during the day that need to get done and he can't do them. So you need to help him out.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And I was like, I did. What are you talking about? And she's like, well, the oven and the proofer needed to get cleaned. And I was like, I did that on Saturday.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, the bathrooms. I'm like, I clean them every day.
Right.
Including yesterday. And she's like, oh, well, I don't know I don't know then, I guess.
What? Did you check? Or did you just
No,
complain?
what happened was he complained to them that I didn't do all the other jobs, the 3 other jobs.
Oh, the things you can't do because
the things that
you
it doesn't make sense to
Yeah.
do because
Yeah.
I'm not there past 2:30.
She didn't mop for me at 2:00 for my clothes at 9. It's yeah. That's right.
Sure didn't.
Yeah. Why the fuck would she do that? Because the cafe at my work, if I started mopping the floor at 2:00, 1, I would be slapping customers' feet with the mop.
Mm-hmm.
And 2, my boss would shoot me. Because why the fuck would we waste valuable time mopping something that is going to get 7 more hours of dirt and grime on it?
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, long story short, he complained that I didn't
don't understand
do jobs.
why I don't have to do 0 things.
Yeah.
It's why did you get a job here?
Yeah, it's because he's supposed to report on shit, and he just doesn't want to actually do work.
Yeah,
and
because his job is basically just to be a spy.
Yeah.
About against the rest of you, and he resents the fact that he has to do anything while also being a narc.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, also my favorite thing is that
he sounds lovely.
I do the chips and the drinks because it's a lot of heavy lifting. I have to pick up the different drink crates.
Yeah.
And bring a bunch of them forward and fill the drink machine, and then I have to grab a bunch of different boxes full of chips.
Yeah.
I stack them 3 on top of each other, so
Right.
I'll grab 3 and bring them forward, and then 3 more, and there's usually 4 stacks.
Yeah.
And then I'll fill the whole thing, and that's in the front of the store.
Right.
And he sits in the back and watches soap operas.
Oh. What?
And my favorite thing that he does is I'm ripping open boxes and stuffing the rack for chips full of chips. And a customer will come in and I'll greet them and be like, I'll be with you in a minute, which buys him a minute to come forward and take care of them.
Right.
And then he doesn't.
He hears you say, oh, I'll be with you in a minute. He's like, cool, I'm going to sit here and keep watching my soap opera.
It doesn't matter if I greet him. I've experimented. It doesn't matter if I greet them or not.
Right.
He doesn't go get them. unless he's already, like, in the sandwich unit when they walk in.
Right.
He doesn't take them.
What the actual fuck does he do?
Nothing.
Great.
Not to mention he's always on our ass about paying for sandwiches, and I pay for my sandwiches anyway.
Right.
Which I'm not supposed to.
Oh, you're supposed to get one free?
Yeah, I'm supposed to get one free with every 4-hour shift.
Oh, fuck.
Which I don't. Because it's not profitable.
Yeah, they sure do a lot of cutting corners to make sure they're profitable.
But I love it. The other day I came out from cleaning the bathrooms and he's trying to shovel a sandwich into his mouth.
Oh, interesting.
I was like, oh, did you pay for that? Because I feel like it's not profitable for you to be eating that if you didn't pay for it.
Yeah, what the fuck, buddy?
And also a thing I like that he does is when he realizes something needs to get done, he tells me that it has to get done.
Instead of just doing it.
He's like, oh, we're out of pickles. I'm like, that's cool. Is that all you had to say? Is that the end? Is that your fun story or something?
You can't just, like, start telling him to do shit. Like, he's not your boss.
I suppose I could.
You should. I feel like you should start just being like, well, then do it. Like, you're my coworker. Mm-hmm. Go do it.
I usually,
I think you should experiment with it. I think just try it.
Usually,
he's not your fucking boss.
Usually, instead of telling him what to do,
yeah,
I just say okay, and then don't do it.
Oh, that's funny though. I like that. That's funny.
Yeah, but he has
because he won't fucking do it.
No, he will if I end up forcing him into a corner with it. Like there was a time where we ran out of bread, and he was like, "We need to bake," and I had 30 minutes left.
Sure.
And I was like, "Okay, well, I don't have time to."
Yep.
And he's like, "Well, we're running out of bread," and I'm like, "All right."
Cool.
I understand.
That's great for you.
That was it?
Yeah. Sorry. I don't know what you want me to do about it. Yeah. Like, oh, we're running out of bed. Oh, man, that sucks.
Wow, that sucks. Well, I gotta leave.
Yeah, bye.
Also, my favorite thing is the one time, it wasn't the same instance, but I was already baking stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like writing through my list, because I'll make the list.
Yeah.
I give him jobs to do.
Sure.
I give him his 3 things, and then I'll take my things. And I cross them out as I go to make sure I get them all done.
Right.
And I was baking. It was the last thing that I had to finish. But I had all my other things crossed off. And I was like, okay, this. And I was like thinking out loud. And I was like, okay, is there anything I'm forgetting? Because I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't know. And I was like, okay, I don't either. So I went and I sat. And started like writing things down and filling out like the temperature log and stuff.
Right.
And he came over to me. He was like, I know what you forgot. And I was like, what did I forget? He's like, you're baking bread. And it's been in there for so long.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, now would be the time where you just go fix it.
Yeah, like go get the bread.
If you realize that I'm overproofing it, stop it.
Right.
Don't come over here and start talking to me and also play the stupid guessing game or, oh, guess what you forgot? I remembered. Long pause. Like, go fucking fix it!
Yeah, it just seems utterly useless.
Yeah.
Just seems like incapable of problem solving, needs you to do everything for him.
Yeah.
Terrible.
So that's been annoying. And then to top it all off...
Man, you had a rough one.
What did I write? Oh yeah, there's a dead baby bird outside on the sidewalk of my work.
Oh, that's sad.
It's really sad, and I almost stepped on it. And I saw it yesterday. It's a little baby bird. Doesn't even have, feathers. It has,
Oh, that's sad.
And so I, nudged it a little bit with my shoe to see if it was still alive.
Yeah.
Because if it was alive, I'd put it back in the nest that I'd know where it's from.
Right.
It's, in the roof.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. And so I left it. And then I came back today, and I saw it again, because it hasn't been stepped on or moved, which is weird because there's like animals and stuff that I figured would probably take it.
Right.
But it got a sunburn.
Oh.
It's sad.
That's really sad. There's not a lot you can do about it, but
No.
it sucks regardless.
Little baby bird fell out of the nest and he died.
Poor baby. Yeah, that is pretty sad. I'm sorry.
Work sucks and I hate it.
Yeah, we should just all fucking quit our jobs, everyone.
I need to go talk to the people at that wine place.
Yeah. Get a much better job.
Yeah, they pay $14 an hour and it's a wine job.
Hell yeah, much better. Yeah, this is an official endorsement from the Wisdom Save podcast. Everybody's listening, quit your job. Tell your boss to fuck off and quit your job. Just everyone quit. If all of us quit at once, the entire world would be so much better in 24 hours. If every person in the United States quit their job on the same day, we would have everything we want in 24 hours. Guaranteed. It's that simple. Because all these rich assholes...
No, the government's just so lucky that Americans are so dumb.
Yeah, they're really lucky.
They can't actually, unify on anything.
Yeah, they're really lucky that we're dumb. They're really lucky, because if we weren't dumb, we would wise up to it, and we would just get whatever we wanted.
Okay, so you tell me about your bud, because now
My butt is fine. I didn't really have anything in particular that I was like...
Nothing budding for you this week?
Nothing that I was like specifically looking forward to that I didn't do. Mm-hmm. Nothing that I'm like Well, okay, that's not true. I literally just thought of one. But maybe I was going to save it for in case we did another Roses and Thorns in the next couple of weeks. But we'll probably do a whole podcast episode about it because I really want to. Maybe with a guest, possibly, if we can make it work. Mm-hmm. But we'll see. And that is E3's coming up.
Oh yeah, E3's going to come up soon, middle of June.
Just a couple of weeks away. I am a big fan of gaming. I'm like a gaming industry nerd. Mm-hmm. In a lot of ways. I love just seeing what the different companies are going to do. I'm a hype magnet, and whenever things that are happen that are hype, I get irrationally excited for them. Even if they're video games that I will literally never play, there are things that I'm just like, ooh, I hope we see this at E3 because I just know it'll make people excited.
Right.
And I thrive off of that energy. I'm like a hype vampire. Well, no, because that means it drains it from other people. I'm like a hype disco ball. I just kind of, the hype bounces onto me and I reflect it around to everybody. Yeah, I'm very excited about it. There's a lot of things that are still up in the air about E3. We don't know exactly what conferences are going to be when. We don't know exactly we have some ideas about some games that are going to be talked about. Mm-hmm. We don't know everything. We know there's plenty of surprises in the works. But I am hopeful that, especially considering last year was basically a dud, what with COVID and everything. I'm very hopeful that this year is going to be a year where there's, lots of big surprises, and it's lots of stuff that people will be talking about for a very long time. I don't want to linger too much on this, bud, because I do want to do a whole podcast about it. So I'm kind of just going to leave it at that. But the hype has been mounting and building, and I'm sure that our lovely and loyal listeners will be hearing many more things about my E3 hype in the coming weeks, because I'm not going to shut the fuck up about it.
Well, also, it would be really exciting to do for that.
What?
Is, when E3 is getting closer.
Yeah.
Maybe, talk a little more about some of the things that we know came out. As time goes by, note down all the things that we know are, either coming or that we're hoping are coming. Yeah. And talk about it. Do a podcast for the week before. Yeah.
Have you, I've done this, but have you ever done one of the, E3 bingo cards?
No.
Because I do them every year. Me and Viv, our friend Viv, who always watches E3 with me. We do them every year. And that was kind of what I was thinking about doing, is doing an E3 bingo card where I would we'll do the podcast and it's here's what's on my bingo card, here's my predictions. It's these are my predictions, and then we can do a post game, an evaluation. Here's what came
true. Actually came out and stuff.
That's kind of what I was thinking about doing.
Doing a before and after E3 podcast?
There's a couple of, like, gaming channels that I follow that do something similar. The Easy Allies, who I watch occasionally. They do, like, a betting special thing wherever there's, like, one of these big events. They are like, hey, we're going to do bets. And then here are our bets. And they're worth an amount of points. And then if they come true, and usually they're, like, hyper-specific things, and sometimes they're a little bit more generalized. But if they come true, people score points, and then there's a winner, and they have to do, like, fun, like, dares and stuff. It's something like that, but they usually do, like, they'll do, like, post-evaluations, but, like, here's what we thought was going to happen, here's what did happen. So I kind of wanted to do something in that vein for the podcast.
Yeah.
So you'll probably see some more, as we get closer to June, you'll probably see some E3 content from me, for sure, because that is my second favorite thing about June. My favorite thing is your birthday.
My birthday!
Yeah. But that's pretty much it for my bud.
My bud. Staying true to form is D&D this week.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Because
right.
We are playing Ravnica, as we have said.
Yeah.
And my character, Alistair, just got feeble-minded.
Yeah, you did.
Really bad.
Yeah.
So what I wrote in particular was, Alistair just got feeble-minded by a mirror, so this could be good or bad, but regardless, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting RP opportunity for you, and you've been going so hard at researching what the particular
what exactly it is he knows, and what exactly it is he will feel.
Yeah. For those of you who aren't familiar with the spell and the way the spell works in D&D, the Feeble Mind spell is very, very powerful enchantment magic. It is 8th level, so it's near the pinnacle of what humans can achieve with magic. When you are affected by the spell, if it successfully takes hold in you, your intelligence and your charisma scores, whatever they happen to be, immediately drop to 1. To give you context of what that 1 means, a zombie, like a completely inanimate shell of shambling instinct, has a charisma score of 1.
Yeah.
A toad, like an actual small, literal, bump on a log toad,
right,
has an intelligence of 1.
Right.
So you are now a full-grown adult male with a 20 wisdom, an apex hunter survival instinct, the intelligence of a toad, and the force of personality of a shambling undead corpse.
Right.
Which is a very weird and very unique role-playing experience. And on top of that, it presents a brand new obstacle for the party because it's gonna happen for 30 days.
No, it's not only happening for 30 days.
Right.
We have discussed this. I can't break it.
Oh, right. So every 30 days, the person who has affected by the curse has an opportunity to re-roll the save to break the curse. The problem is that the save is an intelligence saving throw. So when you first attempt to save against it, you roll at your original intelligence score. Now, as it's taken effect, your intelligence score is now 1, which reduces it to a -5 penalty. You now have a total of, I think, a -4 on intelligence because of your proficiencies.
Because I'm proficient.
Yeah. You're right. You're proficient, and your proficiency bonus is currently +3.
Yep.
So you have a -2.
Yep.
And spoiler alert, the DC for this particular Feeble Mind effect is higher than 20.
Yes.
So you can't roll a number high enough on the die to beat it. Although I think, since it is a saving throw, I believe technically a natural 20 does work.
Right. So the only way I will ever be able to break it, and I can only re-roll it in 30-day periods.
Once every 30 days.
Is if I get a natural 20.
Yeah. You have a 5% chance to break the curse every month.
So we need to find a different way to break it on me.
Yeah, you need to find someone who can heal this from you.
But
somehow, in the middle of the rubble belt, where you were the navigator, and now everyone in the party has no fucking idea where they are.
Right.
And they have to find somebody who can fix this. It's complicated.
Yeah. But that's the thing, is I've been looking up... Because the thing is it's very complex. Because you could take just, I only have the charisma force of a zombie, the intelligence of a toad, and the wisdom score, the preternatural instincts of a fully fledged human.
Yeah, like a pinnacle human.
But none of those things actually equate to what Alistair is going to be.
Right, that's only a slice of the conceptual understanding of the character.
Well, because the thing is you keep going, like, everything about him is going to be instinct.
Yeah.
But I'm like, but his instincts aren't that of a toad.
Right. Well, that's the thing. Is it like you have an intelligence that is equatable to that, but that doesn't mean that you have that specific type of intelligence.
Or that I'm not going to show emotion.
Sure.
They're just not going to potentially be favorable to people.
Right.
I've been, like, looking up all sorts of things.
You've done your homework.
And I still may not do it completely correctly, but, like...
I have a lot of confidence in you based on just... I know how hard you've been, like, focusing on and trying to perfect this particular version of Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I came up with a list. Like, I looked up the base human instincts and, like, dumbed them down.
Mm-hmm.
Figured out exactly how, like, what priority things are gonna have in his brain.
Yeah.
Like, habits that would, like, come from his instinctual, like, I've ranked everybody in the party from, like, because humans are pack animals.
Yeah, of course.
So I've ranked us in our pack order for me.
Oh,
like,
boy.
About who I think's on top and who's on bottom and where I am and all that.
Right.
And how I'm going to react to people because of how I feel about each one of them.
Right.
Like, right now, Hex looks like a child.
Yeah.
So I'm going to want to protect Hex. But also, like, one of our party members is someone I'm romantically inclined toward and is also very scrawny. So I'm going to want to protect them.
Right.
Like, there's the other one that I'm not going to want to question.
Yeah.
Because he might beat me up.
Right.
Just for, like,
He's
tiny little...
the alpha of the party.
We don't fuck with him.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't listen to him.
Right.
But we try to do it while he's not looking.
Right.
Like, there's, like... And it's, like... Those are, like... That's just, like, the nuance of what I'm trying to go through while we're in danger, or while I'm not being, like... While I'm being stagnant. I'm not gonna just sit here with, like, my mouth open. Like, I'm still an animal.
Right.
Like, is kind of what it comes down to.
Exactly.
But I'm very excited to, like, role play all this and, like, just be crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited for that, and it couldn't have come at a more inopportune time. Right,
very bad
right
time.
Before a very big battle is likely about to come knocking at your door after you've killed off most of the crew of a threatening adversary and not really done much to cover the fact that it might have been you who was involved, and then let one of their guys go, and they saw all your faces, and now you're just hiding in the middle of nowhere hoping they don't find you, and they all are flying.
We're in the woods, we're in trees. It's hard to see us.
Yeah.
We have partial cover.
Sure.
We just need to continue walking is what I think we need to do. Like, we stopped... It was like a mile out, but we need to just, like, keep going. But regardless, I'm very excited to see what happens.
I'm also very excited. I think it's going to be a good session this week.
Or very bad, but...
Well, I mean, yeah, like, you could die. But, I mean, that could happen anytime.
Yeah, it's never not on the table.
Right.
But also, what was I going to say? There's something... you cursed me.
I cursed you? Why?
Well, you set the curse on me, but also, literally, not even a full, 3 minutes before that happened to me, we got back to our camp, and Angela was like, wow, I'm really glad at least you know where we're going.
Oh, yeah, I did say that.
And now I don't.
Yep.
Now I don't know my own name.
Fuck yeah.
I know, that's the thing, is I've been getting really into this, like, trying to figure out exactly what I do and do not know.
Right.
Which is a lot of I don't know. But I'm just, like, pushing at the boundaries and making sure I don't know things. I wake up this morning and I just look at Ken and I go, does Alistair know his own name?
No.
I don't know my
Definitely
own name.
not. Yeah. You are not intelligent. Like, if you give a frog a name and you start calling the frog by the name, the frog is probably not going to come to you.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah. Similar thing. And something with 1 intelligence, like a dog has a 3 intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
They can get their name. You, with an intelligence of 1, you're not going to be able to register that as you. You're only going to be able to register that which you can tactilely perceive. Like,
right.
If you can see it and touch it, it makes sense. But like abstract ideas, like the name represents a person, how?
Yeah.
It's just a word. A word can't represent anything. It's just air escaping your face.
Yeah, it's just a noise.
Yeah. They're making you can't understand language, so how can you associate that this weird garble of sounds happens to be you?
It happens to be like what they refer to me as.
Yeah, they're just yelling a thing at me over and over again.
I suppose. I was just like, I don't know, like I keep like leaning very slightly into dog-cat territory, which is a 2 intelligence.
Dogs are smarter than that. Yeah.
I know, they're smarter than that.
Yeah.
But like I keep going like, if they keep making that sound at me, I should be able to connect those things, and I'm like, but I can't. Like, that's not how that works.
That's the difference between a 3 intelligence and a 1 intelligence. A 3 intelligence is borderline, like...
It's like a small child.
Yeah, I mean, like, even maybe a little bit more than, like, a 3 intelligence is maybe a little bit under a small child. Maybe not even. It's like roughly dog-cat intelligence.
Well, dogs have roughly the same mental capacity and emotional range as a toddler.
Yeah, so then, they'd be about a 3. But, yeah, that's a whole extra point of modifier in D&D.
Yes.
Is the difference between 1 and 3.
Yes.
So you're a whole, like, category, like a full category below dog and cat.
Yeah.
And that's one of those things you lose. You're just there's just no way for you to be able to like wrestle with the abstract idea that a certain sound represents a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing too. Is I've kind of got it down to like how I'm going to behave, and it's fun because I've gotten it down to like I have habits that I plan to follow so long as this persists, and I'm like, it's almost like because I am that stupid and like but it's gonna be like, it's almost going to be like you're dealing with a dog, but I'm stupider. It's all the it's because of the instinct is why it's gonna feel like you're dealing with a dog, because I have things that I'm going to do. But that's why I said something to you before, and I don't know if you understood what I was trying to say, is that it's like I'm going to act in a way where it's going to seem like I have, like, intense emotional connections that are, like, they're going to be like, oh, he's still kind of there. But it's like when a dog or, like, a wolf or something like that, something more feral.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, like, they're like, oh, they love each other. And it's like, they're just, like, kissing that guy's muzzle because he's the one that protects them.
Right.
And it's like, humans, like, push their emotions onto these things.
Sure.
Even if that may or may not be true.
Right. It's a way to contextualize it in a way that makes sense to us.
Mm-hmm. So, I've come up with a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a time.
I'm very excited to see it all play out. Yeah. So you'll probably get an update on that, I'm sure. It's going to be fun.
I'll let you guys know, even if it's not in the topic, if I ever become not stupid.
True. Yep.
Fair. Or if Alistair dies.
Oh, boy. Well, hopefully that wasn't an omen.
Well, I have both of them in there.
True.
it's both. Those are the two options. I become unstupid, or I remain stupid until I'm dead.
I suppose those are really always the two options, huh?
Pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Well, I suppose that's it for our Roses and Thorns, isn't it?
I guess so. That was kind of short.
Yeah, I kind of expected this one to be short. We had a lot of similar things going on this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were on your vacation, so you didn't have a bunch of crazy things going on.
Plus, I kind of like these, like the fact that they can be just kind of short, sweet, and to the point.
Yeah, we don't have to have 2-hour long, deeply indulgent conversations on color pies. And...
Yeah, at least not always. Every once in a while, it's nice to just kind of relax.
Yeah.
Yeah. So since this was your podcast episode, I believe you have a little recommendation, endorsement, whatever, thing for us. So, what should our loyal listeners check out? What do you think is interesting?
So I didn't really come with anything planned.
Okay.
Which is not the norm. But
That's
just
true.
Based on all of the fun things we talked about already.
Yeah.
I would recommend getting Metopia, because that's fun and self-indulgent.
Fuck yeah.
I would also recommend watching Demon Slayer, because that is also very good.
Yeah. The official stance of the Wisdom Save podcast this week is treat yourself.
Yeah.
Just treat yourself to a little something nice.
Just indulge.
Yeah. Just have a little fun.
I would also highly recommend getting vaccinated.
That.
So, those are my 3 off-the-cuff recommendations from the show.
When you go to get vaccinated, you got to take days off of work. Nothing better to do on a day off than watch some Demon Slayer and play some Metopia.
Yeah.
It's all good options. So you can really, theoretically, you can knock out all 3 of those things in one 2-day period.
Yep.
You can play some Metopia and binge watch Demon Slayer and go get vaccinated. You can do all those things.
Do them all at once.
Yeah.
See if your nurse will let you.
Yeah, see if your nurse will let you. Yo, I got Netflix on my phone and I got my Switch in my hand, and in my other hand. Just stick me. I got the rest. I'm good.
See if your nurse will come over and watch Demon Slayer.
Yeah, see if she wants to. Maybe they want to chill. Who knows? Yeah. All right. Well, as always, thank you so much for listening. We enjoy spending time with you, and we enjoy hanging out with you.
Sorry about the mic difficulties.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about the fans. Everybody's warm in this house.
Well, it's warm. Also, the mic did fall at one point.
Oh, true.
But that was... I actually also... we forgot to tell them we fucking rearranged our entire room.
Oh, my God. We haven't recorded a podcast since we rearranged the room, have we?
We arranged the entire room. We have a new bed. Everything's in a different place. Our microphone's kind of fucked. Our bed is a totally different bed.
Yeah, that's why the microphone fell in the first place. Because currently it's on the middle of our new king size bed. Ooh, yeah, we're living fancy now. In the middle of our king size bed, on a table, on a mic stand, balancing. So it's a little fucky.
We're gonna figure that out before next time. Yeah. You may still have background noise because the fans aren't probably gonna stop until October.
Yeah, probably.
Or maybe we'll start recording in the garage again.
Oh, fuck. Maybe.
Figure out a setup out there.
We can start doing that.
We will have this sorted by the time we come back.
We'll figure it out.
But regardless, sorry for the mic difficulties. Hopefully the episode was still fun.
I don't think they're too bad. It'll be fine.
That mic thing's gonna hurt someone's ear.
Well, headphone users, rip. That's it.
F's in the chat.
F's in the chat for the headphone users. But yeah, we love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you again next week with, I guess, my topic, which, well, I don't know. We'll see. We don't spoil it.
Oh yeah, we don't spoil it.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna spoil it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we love you. Goodbye.
Love you. Bye.